welcome back to Girls from These Worlds. Sorry, we had a little bit of tech issues, but we are back. We're carrying on with some more Mice in the Herb Garden, a Mausritter actual play. So we took our little accidental break just as we were discussing Apple having a little look around, taking a turn to just check if there were any other alternatives to ride the slug. But perhaps you'll do riding the slug anyway. So do you want to take that turn then? Apple take that turn to just have a quick look around.
I think so, yeah. I'm desperately looking for an alternative to riding the slug.
Okay. So you're actually at a pretty good vantage point swinging on the little fairy lights. So you can see I think a few things that you realize could maybe work. So first of all, looking in the kitchen, you see this broom is propped up upwards against the wall.
Okay.
And you think if it fell, it could perhaps fall in a way that would like let you cross over towards the sink. Might not get you the whole way across, but then there's like the draining rack and things, so you might be able to clamber across like that. There's also some stuff in the recycling bin, like bits of paper and plastic and like an old egg carton and a milk carton and things. Maybe you could fashion those into something. The final thing you notice is you kind of swivel around to have just a quick look in the other room, and you do see over on this desk, as well as like some crumpled papers and things, you do see there's lots of interesting things here. There's an inkwell, there's like this crystal, and you do see there is some crumpled pieces of paper and some origami, including a paper airplane.
Oh my god. Now,
and
a paper
fan.
airplane Apple would love to ride.
And a little fan. Of course, I'll be waiting for you when you get back as well, so you don't have to do that. But you see those three different options. There's the broom, there's some stuff in the recycling bin you could maybe fashion into something else, or
I think Apple is like, so anyone who wants to ride the slug can ride the slug. I actually might do something a little different. And like gestures over, like points out the paper airplane and the paper and everything, and it's like, I think I might take to the skies.
A good way to say it.
Okay, so what I would suggest then is those of you who wish to ride the slug.
I definitely, sorry, not to cut you off. Apple mentions the other things too, like the, so it's not like you have it, but like the broom and sorry, go ahead, Philippa.
What I was going to say is because Angela needs to shoot off in a little bit, those of you who wish to ride the slug, should we resolve slug first and then you can decide if you want to go in the aeroplane? Because I think that was Susie and Tabitha.
Wait, Elchie, I think, because Susie's, I think, is too smart to think this is a good idea. And Susie's very
it's Tabitha and Elchie, isn't it? Yes, of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't Susie's kind of reckless. The paper airplane, yes.
Yeah, I think Apple.
Okay.
I think Apple maybe even says like, and Susie, since you used to be a bird, maybe the airplane would be. You'd feel more at home.
You could remember your days in flight.
I have always wanted to gaze upon the sky more closely, even if it is only before my own death. This sounds good.
Susie, I appreciate your clear-headedness, but this is the second time where, specifically to me, I've wanted to do something and you've brought up that we may die, and I appreciate it, but also I feel like I should let you know it does make me nervous.
For clarification, and she says this in like the most matter-of-fact tone possible, I simply accept the possibility that at any given point our lives may end suddenly, horribly, terribly, and or bloodily. I accept these as a natural fact of our world. It is why I just keep looking for stuff and doing things regardless.
I love
because
that
I will
about
die
you.
one day.
I love that about you, but I feel a little differently.
My apologies if I have upset you, friend. Here, I shall relieve you of a burden in that case. And then she like walks over to Tabitha and Elchie before saying, I am gonna go with Apple to try out the little airplane thing. But should things go awry, I only ask this, that you do not cry after my death, for I will not know it, and love me as thoroughly and as fully as you can while I am still amongst the living.
Tabitha's just gonna pick you up in a big bear hug and be like, please be careful, Susie. Please be careful.
It's still good to take precautions.
Yes. Okay,
Elchie, meanwhile, in the back is like, slugs.
By the slug. Okay, so we're gonna have Apple and Susie. You presumably make your way carrying along on the fairy lights until they kind of go down over the table, so you can kind of, again, using the thread, get yourselves down onto the table, and we will resolve that, I think, in a bit, where Susie will, once you have to shoot off, will let Susie kind of carry along. But just before we go to break, we'll just resolve riding the slug. So Tabitha and Elchie, so you're on the fairy lights again. You've got that thread that you've already attached going down to the bin, and the slug is kind of slugging about over here-ish, kind of scooting around over the dirty dishes and eating some food, and then occasionally kind of like going around in the potion and stuff. So what do you want to do to try and get the attention of this slug?
Woodlouse treats.
Yes, the woodlouse
waving the
treats.
woodlouse treats. And possibly I'll dip one in like a little bit of cider to make it seem extra tasty.
Sure. Excellent. By the way, you've given out quite a bit of cider and things, so if you could mark a usage on your cider for...
Yes. It didn't, when I got it, it didn't come with a set number of usages.
No, so
how
just
many
do,
usages does it have?
if it doesn't come with it, it's just 3.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean like every time you drink from it. It's like, because it's a big barrel, so but when you're using it for something like this, I think it will. Okay, so you wave the tree. I think, Ella, can you give me a reaction roll, which is 2d6, and because you've got the treat, let's say it's with advantage, so actually do 3d6 and take the higher 2 in this case.
Okay. Oh, it's a 5 and a 6.
Okay, 11. Talkative. What could they trade? Now, obviously, it's a slug, so you can't actually understand it, but its little, like, sluggy eyes go to the tree, and it's like, and slugs slowly through the floor, disappears into the foam of the potion for a while, because that foam is quite, like, large. Scoot, 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 and eventually scoots up the recycling bin and is like, and opens its mouth, which you see has... Slugs have teeth, by the way. I learned this the other day. Slugs do have teeth. They have a sort of circular set of teeth to allow them to eat lettuce and things. So it's like as it opens its mouth to ask for the treat.
Well, Tabitha attempts and passes a will save if she was playing a different game. It's just like, like, but sort of like tosses the woodlouse treat into its mouth.
Elchie is just like, that is unexpected, not what I thought.
No, I thought that they absorbed stuff through their bellies or something.
Yeah, I truly did not think that far beyond the idea of us heroically riding the slug, honestly.
Yes, and I'm also a little concerned. I mean, I got this raincoat, but I am a little concerned about the fact that when it came here, it did go completely into the foam. Like, it wasn't on top of the foam. It was through it.
Yeah.
You also notice, having gone through the foam a bit, its mouth is kind of covered in some of the potion goo, and it seems a little bit bigger as well. A little more strained.
I still have my water skin. I wonder if I can clean off some of like the potion, like the majority of the maybe even like all of the potion, if I can try. And
yeah,
it seems like a good size, so I don't know if we need to have it continue growing anymore.
Sure. Yeah, you can use if you tick off a use of your
Yeah.
water bottle, so 1 of 3. Uh, I think if you, so it kind of like is slugged closer to you and is kind of trying to bridge the gap between the recycling bin and the bin you're standing on, which is not very big. So it's kind of like, ooh, and you can pour some water on it. And it doesn't make it any smaller, but it does wash off the potion that's on it. So it doesn't seem to be actively absorbing any more into it and getting bigger for now.
Cool.
Elchie, is this a good idea?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
She has her like capes out and she's just like, I'm in this 100%. Let's do this.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna buckle my raincoat around myself and try and get on the slug, I guess.
Cool. Are you using that thread you were talking about, or are you just hopping on?
Yeah, gonna use a bit of the thread as kind of reins, essentially.
Okay.
Tied to saddles with my like weird disguise capes.
Elchie's disguise cape saddles.
Yeah, so it's quite slippy. So with the saddles / reins, let's say I think you need to do
use the bubble gum to attach the saddles and the reins, because we don't need it to climb walls anymore, or we don't need to climb walls right now. So maybe repurpose the bubble gum that we had and glue stuff on.
In that case, I won't ask you to do a dex save to hold on. You can stick yourselves on, but it does start going like sort of rearing back. It was not expecting this.
I'm gonna try and like pet it and be like, it's okay, it's all right, it's okay. And I'm gonna give it another one of the woodlouse treats that I've got.
Oh yeah.
It's fine, it's all right, we're not gonna hurt you. And
it moves its head towards the treat as you're doing it and sort of like slimes towards the direction and is like, eats it.
Ooh. Okay, Elchie, you still got that treat on the front of your sword. I think you got to guide us.
If you just like arm comes up in front. I think Elchie sat like in the. Well, actually, do you want Tabitha to be in the front with the reins? Or
I think you need to be in the front because of the sword.
Okay. Yeah, so Elchie is in the front with the sword is like a carrot on the stick.
Cool. And yeah, you can start guiding this slug.
And
with that, we will just take a very brief break. Obviously, we did have a little break with the stream going down, but we'll just take 5 minutes. So viewers, if you stick around, we'll find out what happens with the slug going off to adventure. So yeah, stick with us and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Hello. Welcome back to Girls Run These Worlds, where we are playing some Mausritter, and we were just about to see Elchie and Tabitha ride a slug. By the way, Angela has had to head off to do some charity streaming things, so we knew she was going to go off. And that music you heard during the break is Angela's beautiful guitar, recorded a theme song for the show, which is pretty cool. So yeah, thanks Angela, and I hope she has a good time on her stream. So back to business, slug time. Well, I think just to balance out the teams, I think Azealia is not a huge fan of the slug sliminess and perhaps has gone with apple fritter. So let's resolve the slug. So you're on the slug, Elchie and Tabitha, dangling your treat in front of it, which, by the way, mark off a use of the treats.
Yes.
Dangling it in front, and it starts to follow where you point it, basically, and you're still currently on top of the recycling bin. But it can, you're stuck on with your chewing gum, so it can go down and up and things. So where do you want it to go?
Towards the herb cabinet, behind the cauldron.
Sure. So I think also standing on that, you can see the rest of the room. That's going to hide things. Sorry. There we go. You can see there's a few more smashed bits of stuff on the floor.
Ooh.
So it is going to start, if you just sort of point it in that direction, it will start to go down, and there's bits of the foaming potion getting closer as it inches down the side. So what do you want to do?
Maybe if we went along the side of the door, if we crossed that bit of potion and then got to the door and kind of mostly just stuck along, sort of walking sideways along the door and along the wall.
Oh yeah, look, there's that little gap, isn't there?
Yeah.
So yes, you can direct it that way. Yeah, definitely. So it goes, and this is very slow. So I'm just gonna mark.
So Elchie, tell me about your childhood.
Elchie is fully like, all right, well, let's tell you the whole story, like Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, just first I
what a
assumed
good
there
reference.
And you slowly make your way around around the side and over towards here, which let's just see what Apple Fritter and Azealia are doing as you kind of arrive at the potion cabinet. That's it. So Apple, you climb on down to the table, and things you can see on the table, you can see, where did I put it? Not there. Here. On the table, you can see that there's papers covered in huge handwriting, human-sized handwriting, and little drawings and things, and a little inkwell, a book, this fan, a pen, a feather. You can see there's little crystals which, sniffing, smell a little cheesy. And you can see there's an origami swan, some origami stars, and a little paper airplane.
Okay, so I can't I think the answer is that I can't, but mice can't read human handwriting, really, I'm assuming.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I think you can read it very slowly. I think what I was thinking was it would be like reading a billboard standing right underneath it. Because obviously you're so small, you're seeing it one letter at a time. So it might be difficult to read and it would take a while. But I think maybe it would be more cool if you can read bits of it, but it might not always make total sense.
I would like to try. Okay, so there's a book and there's notes, right?
Yeah.
You said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Apple maybe would be more interested in the notes.
Yeah.
And obviously Susie's not here, is kind of in the background.
Yeah.
But I think Apple would assume that Susie's going to the book, maybe.
For sure.
And so Apple will kind of look at the notes. And I think kind of tries, I don't think she can see from where she is, but tries to get peer into the other room to see, and is that slug was pretty slow. I think I've got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because the notes might be about the potion, so that may be helpful to read.
Sure. You can kind of shuffle through and okay, I'm going to give you let's say 3 options of
Okay.
the different pages because there's some drawings on them. So one has a drawing of a herb bundle, one has a drawing of a clock, and one has a clock, and one has a drawing of a fox.
Okay. That's such a hard choice.
And you probably have time to read one in the time the slug crosses.
Yeah. The herb bundle is the most immediately useful, but the fox is just so juicy because Apple is like, they're definitely X's. So I think Apple kind of like looks at the herb bundle and then is like, well, everyone else, we're gonna look at the herbs that spilled, so we might be able to figure that out a different way. And like goes over and starts looking at
Azelia's like leaning on a little ink pot, like, ooh, drama. So you can like carefully like trace, you know, these huge letters to sort of slowly work out what it says. And you see it's notes. It's not a love letter. It's notes that how to phrase it, are talking about how the fox is a constant nuisance, continually interrupting my plans, insisting on having access to magic that is not safe for them and that they do not understand. And if they were to use it, they would be reckless, foolish, and put the whole forest in danger.
Apple is reading between the lines and is like, this does sound like when Mr. Darcy was going to Elizabeth for that first proposal. So is still kind of thinking that could be it, but also it is important information because we're working with the fox. So Apple's kind of like, oh, I don't know, Azalea, what do you think? Should we still be letting Merida in here if it's something that's gonna be or maybe this witch is wrong? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just hold the torch. It seems like maybe it would be good to talk to both of them. Because Merida seems to think to know what she wants to do. This witch seems to want the opposite.
Yeah. I hope that since the witch is also the cat, that means I won't be immediately eaten if I see. But yeah, Apple like files this away mentally to like tell to the others like, hey, there's some drama.
Yeah.
But curiosity sated is then going to turn her attention to the paper airplanes and the fan and everything to see like where that could get us.
Yeah. So the angle of the fan is actually angled towards the kitchen door. There's like a couple of settings, there's sort of slow, medium, fast fan, big ones that as a mouse you could jump on or throw something on to sort of set them off. And yeah, the airplane is big enough to hold, I think would hold all of you actually. Five might probably kind of get in it. It's like a big piece of card that's obviously like this is nice origami paper that the witch has obviously been like does a little hobby, and you can see actually there's some more like dotted around the room. So you think it's sturdy enough to handle a mouse.
Cool. What setting is the fan on now? Is it on?
It's currently
on
off.
At all? It's currently off. Okay. Okay. I think I'd like to try setting it at the lower setting first, just to like, I don't want to turn it on and immediately be blown off the table.
Yeah.
So trying at the low setting, but thinking like we'll probably need the high setting to be able to like actually do this.
Okay. Yeah, turning it on. You see like the little origami stars like below off the table, but the other paper, the slightly heavier papers, they start to move a little bit, but yeah, they're not super duper fast.
I think if I think that the stack would hold all of the mice, the other thing I'm going to do, my inventory's full, but
Yeah.
these crystals are pretty tempting. So I was going to try to get some of that on the plane so that, like, when I get back to everyone else, like, see
Yeah,
if
the
people won't
equivalent
get rid of
is that
things.
the plane has 5 slots
Oh, cool. Okay,
slash 1 slot for each mouse, if that makes sense.
yeah. That makes
So
sense.
while there's
Okay,
not extras, yeah.
So I won't completely fill it with crystals or whatever, but I'll take, like, you know, like 1 or 2. I don't know what
Sure.
size they are.
Yeah, so 2 kind of stand out to you. I think that's the kitchen. Sorry. One moment. Oh, here we go. Right. Yeah, you see one is there's 2 that look like they would take up 1 slot each, so you kind of like look over those. One is a sort of a rose quartz block chunk of crystal. And yeah, it smells magical, it smells cheesy. It would take up 1 slot, it would be worth about 300 pips.
Ooh.
And holding it, you feel more together, you feel a bit more brave, a bit more, you know, charismatic. Because this, if you used a use of this, you would get an advantage on a will save.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I definitely like put that on the plane. I'm
And-
imagining it's in like the crevice, like in the center of the
Yeah,
plane.
you
that
and
I'm, like,
Azealia
kind of putting things.
wedge it in. She sits on top of it. Ready? And the other one that you think would also fit is a sort of like round marble, like shaped stone that's kind of got this like green iridescent sheen, which is a cat's eye crystal, which again 3 uses, takes up 1 slot, worth 400 pips. And this one, you just feel really lucky holding it. And if you spend a use of this one, you can take advantage on any save.
Ooh, cool. Yeah. So I put that one kind of by my feet in the plane. So it's like, okay, this is close by in case we need it. And so I'm assuming it would be something like for the plane, we would have to like move it to where kind of the fan is and then maybe like push it off the side of the table.
Yeah,
I don't
get
know
a runway.
how like
Yeah.
like how specific I need to be. But I think once I get those crystals, Apple's like, all right, the slug's slow, but I'm taking a long time doing this. And is ready to take off, I think.
Sure. Okay, I'm just going to send you the info for the crystals.
Oh yeah, good.
Paste. There we go. So yeah, you line up the. I think Azealia has been like pushing away, like rolling away some of the larger crystals to create a little runway. And yeah, she hops on, sits on top of the crystals, holds on to the sides. And how do you want to get the buttons and sit in the like?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to do it Bob Says style, like run after hop in, or what do you want to do?
I think run after hop in. So I think what it's gonna be is I'll get the button. I think I'll just do the highest since we're way down with crystals and everything. So I think I'll jump on the button and then run over to the plane and start pushing from the back. Yeah. And then so Azealia will be in the front and I'll be in the back and wherever Susie is.
Okay. Feel free to change this therefore, but I'm going to say I think on the highest one it's going to go quite fast. So I do think this might be a dex save.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I'll take my life into my hands. Okay, a dex save. My dex is okay.
And you have got this little cat eye.
I have got the crystals.
Which you can use after the roll, I'll say as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then I'll roll first. I'll take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'll be nice.
All right, d20. Okay, that is higher than my dex, so I will use one of the uses of the crystal. And still higher than my dex. Okay.
Still mark off the use, unfortunately. But yeah, you feel the little crystal sort of like pulses a little green light, but it doesn't help. Because it's in the plane, of course. So, you know, you're like,
I'm like holding this round crystal, also trying to push the plane.
What I'm going to do, because I think this would be funniest, is Azelia's going to make a dex save to try and grab you like as it's going over the edge. So, Ella, could you roll a dex save for Azealia if you've got?
Yeah, of course I can. I'm so stressed. Oh God. Okay. Ah! Oh no, she failed too.
We
And
may be meeting a
she
new
has
mouse.
10 dexterity as well. Like her dexterity is actually pretty good,
Yeah.
but I rolled a 13.
Okay, so excellent, wonderful. The plane. So apple fritter, you're like, I can totally make this.
Mhm.
Bonk, but it's like, oh, it's so much stronger than you thought it was. So you sort of like tumble a little bit, and by the time you scramble to your feet, the plane is already like right at the edge of the desk. Azelia's like, no, holds out her hand, but then you like cross paws in the air, and Azealia and Susie's in the plane start
Yeah. I'm being left behind.
start going off, and I do think on the failed dex
Mhm.
jump off there.
And I'm just like holding my hand up, and like
Yeah.
Azalea's like holding, like leaning over the back of it. Yeah.
And fall into the potion below.
Dang.
So you're touching the potion. So can you roll a d6 for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I got a 5.
Fine. Okay. Okay. You take 3 damage from the potions as it sticks to your skin, causing this horrible fizzing sensation. And you also did fall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me what you're about to say first.
I was gonna say, what does this do damage to after it goes through my hit protection?
To strength.
Okay. Okay.
So you into strength?
I have to make a. Yeah. I
Yes.
have to make
Do you-
a save, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. HP, my strength. Oh yeah, duh, there's a thing for current. Okay, so I have to make a strength save.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you pass it, then you stay up. And
Yeah.
if you don't, then you're injured and someone needs to come grab you.
Chances are pretty good I'm not going to pass this, I will say. My strength at its
I mean, Azealia has some control of the plane, so it's
my
easy in a
strength
way.
at its best is 3. And I
Oh my
did take
God.
1 damage to it. So I have to get a 2 or lower on this dice roll. I got a 12.
Oh dear. Okay, so take an injured condition,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you're incapacitated. So developed in the
Yeah.
potion. There's a
And
little mouse. suit.
I'm also over encumbered whenever I
Yeah,
am alive.
yeah, you can't
again.
move, can't run, even if you were up. So I think you see the face. You're like laying like, and you see the faces of Azealia and Susie over the plane, like, and then it starts to tip as they're leaning to one side, so it starts to circle around. And it starts to head back towards you.
I think this definitely, like, just for the mental image,
Mhm.
like, mice already have that kind of thing where, like, their bones can kind of move around so they
Yes,
can fit through spaces. So I think I'm looking very, like, flat.
Yeah.
Like, not like pancakes, but, like, I'm, like, on my back. And, like, covered in muck, which is the reason why I didn't want to go on.
Yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
my last thoughts.
Yeah. So Azealia and Susie start to circle down. Meanwhile, on the slug.
Just having a merry time.
Yeah. La, 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 la.
Oh no, Apple.
Can I say? I mean, Azalea is my torch bearer. Can I say that like I would have drilled into her quite severely if something happens to one of us? Tell me immediately.
Yeah.
Because I would like her to like shout to like let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you
Right.
you see the little I think okay, so you're on the slug and you've just about reached the cabinet of herbs and things when you see the paper aeroplane momentarily appear in the thing with no apple fritter on it, and Azealia going, ah! And going,
Apple.
apple's falling in the potion, and then managed to do
My
a sort of like
God.
handbrake turn aeroplane maneuver, like, "Whoa," and it flips and flies out of the room back towards to go and help Apple. So you are aware.
Oh boy. Okay. Right, Elchie, I think. Oh, it's so frustrating to be so close to those herbs, but I think we got to turn around because I don't know what's happening to Apple, but I certainly don't trust Azalea to be able to help in any meaningful way. So I suggest that we turn around and we head back that direction, Toot Sweet.
I think Elchie is pulling the treat off, and they have like a clarinet as well along with their banjo, and they stick it on the end of that, and they're like, I'll get the herbs, you go and see what's going on with Apple. And like gives you like another kind of stick with treat like objects that you can have the clarinet for now.
Okay, be strong, stay safe, don't touch the potion.
I will do some of those things.
Alrighty, well, I hope that they're the right ones. And I'm gonna kind of like kick my heels into the slug and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I think like Elchie smacks like the back of it.
It rips up. And
The
starts going
poor slug.
slowly. So, just to remind you all, because this is the first time a mouse has been injured and incapacitated, is when a incapacitated creature is left untended for 6 exploration turns, so that's like 60 minutes, so you've got quite a long time, they die. So April does need to be helped, but it's not like literally in the next 3 seconds sort of thing. But this slug is, as we've established, quite slow. So currently it took it 10 minutes to go around that door. So Tabitha, is there anything you want to do to try and...
Well, so would I think that it would be faster to get back to the recycling bin, climb up the thread onto the fairy lights and down again? Because I'm a little mouse and mice can scamper quite quickly.
You think it would probably be faster to not be on the slug and just run through the potion, but obviously then you would touch the potion.
Okay.
But you don't know what it would do to you yet, so...
All right. What I'd like to do, please, is during this turn that the slug is kind of slowly inching us back round the way we came.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm on the back of it, I want to try and move my raincoat to sort of tie it around my waist and my feet like a kind of set of waders, like waterproofs.
Yep.
To try and like cover as much of the bottom half of my body as I can. And like I imagine it has like a little belt or something, so I'm going to try and like tie that together and like do up the buttons and
like
make
a dry
myself little
suit
trousers.
sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. I like that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. Very
okay,
cool.
So then once I've made myself my little set of waders out of the raincoat, I'm gonna like wait until we get round to as closest to like the edge of the door as I can. Like I want to be running on the potion for as short a time as possible, right? But then once I can kind of see Apple, I want to get ready to sprint. And I'm going to wave the stick with the treat with me and hope that the slug follows, admittedly very slowly.
Yeah. Excellent. Love it. Okay, I think I love this idea. So I think you've mitigated the danger of touching the potion, but obviously it's still touching the raincoat itself. So I think you can do this, but you're going to mark a use on your raincoat because obviously of it basically wearing a bit thin. So again, it has 3 uses. So yeah. Hop. Get through the foam, and I think you do it as Azealia is like circling around and has like landed the plane back on the desk and is like trying to climb down. There's like a little sort of wooden chair and she's about here on the map. She's on the sort of arm of the chair working out what to do, and if Apple is sort of here when you get to Apple.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick up Apple. Apple, can you hear me? Are you can you speak? How many paws am I holding up?
I can't remember, Philippa. Do you remember if when you're incapacitated, am I like unconscious or am I just like kind of out of it? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think you're unable to move when you're injured. You can't like move and stuff, but I think you can still be awake. Let me just go on my little.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's like injured and incapacitated or if it's just injured. I don't remember.
Injured is disadvantage on strength and dex. Incapacitated. It doesn't say, but I think it would be more interesting if you can talk a little bit, but you're kind of like dazed and just like.
So I'm just like laying there. I think like the potion's like kind of slowly like fizzing around me.
Oh, I'm
And
gonna pick her up out of the water. I'm gonna pick her up out of the
Yeah.
potion,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna
The slug is like towards the tree.
I think I'm just gonna like fireman sort of carry her,
Mhm.
like fire mouse carry her over my shoulder and just like run towards the chair. I
Mhm.
want to wash the potion off, but I think my priority is getting us both out of the
Yeah.
potion first, and then I'll
Sure.
wash it off.
Absolutely.
And when I get to the chair, if that's fairly straightforward, I'm going to shout up to Azalea and say, Azalea, get any of the thread that you can see and use it to lower it down. I'm going to tie it around her, and we're going to work together to get her up, all right?
Okay.
I also think I have thread on me. So if you look in
Yeah.
my bag, I think I also have like more of it too.
Amazing. So I'm going to
Yeah.
grab some of it and kind of like...
Apple is just like kind of like very dazed and is just like, did Susie and Azalea, are they? Oh, the crystal didn't help at all. I thought it was gonna be some kind of magic. Just like very out of it.
Well, I think you're delirious, but Susie and Azalea are fine. I don't know
I'm
what you're talking about with
delirious.
crystals.
I can't believe I'm delirious.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry. We'll get you some nice cider. It'll warm your belly. It'll make you feel much better. We'll wash off all this nasty stuff, and don't you even worry about it. It's all gonna be absolutely fine. And I'm gonna try and like
Yeah.
so what I want to do is like tie the rope around Apple.
Yeah, so winch up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. I think Marco, a use on the thread.
Okay,
Whoever
I'll
has
do
the
that
thread.
since I think I have the
Taylor does.
Pulls you up onto the table, and yeah, this is just like a sort of, you can, I think Tabitha can kind of climb this chair, not too difficultly. There's like a little cushion with tabs and things you can pull yourself up on. To find, Azalea starts tending to Apple, and
I'm gonna use the water skin to wash off the potion.
Yeah,
I think
and then
Apple is very confused that she's back where she last. So she's just like, oh, the potion made me think that I was pushing everyone off in a plane and that there was, but I think the fumes are getting to me because I never even left this table, did I?
Oh, Apple. No, it's you see, I believe that this is what Susie would call the passage of time. Linear events happen in an order, and sometimes what that means is that we go through a series of steps, but then ultimately come back to where we started because life is cyclical in nature, in the way that, Elchie's ballads sort of come back for a chorus every now and again. This is sort of the chorus of your song in this cottage. Now, oh Lord, I'm not very good at bedside manner.
I'm feeling very cyclical right now.
the other thing I've realized is you didn't turn the fan off. So as this is happening, every now and again it's turning and you're being like,
Don't say that like it's my fault that I didn't turn the fan off. I didn't really have a chance to.
Okay. I'm gonna turn the fan off. And then go over. Is there anything I can do to help Apple feel better?
Yes. So what you can do is you can tend to her as an ally, and if Apple takes a short rest, which is 1 turn, a swig of water, and a few minutes of rest, you will be no longer incapacitated. That won't restore your other stuff, I don't think.
I'll still be injured.
Yeah,
right?
you'll still be injured. Yeah, injured, I believe, is cured by
it's a full rest.
a full rest. Yeah, which is
have the little,
a week.
the little tabs.
Can I give her a swig of cider?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I like the idea of these little like thimble cups of just warm cider to brace you, and like little cinnamon spices.
Yeah, so you can take a turn to get Apple back up, no longer incapacitated. Let's just hop back over to what Elchie is getting up to while that's happening. So you see the slug and Tabitha obviously scooting off around the side, and then you hear the sounds of Apple being winched up and so on. And you're meanwhile on this sort of cabinet, and it's got like it's got like the worktop and then sort of glass cabinet doors to sort of show off all of these brightly colored herbs and spices and things inside. And the doors are open, and you can see quite a lot of the spice and herb containers that are glass have been knocked off onto the side, onto the floor, and there's glass around the cauldron as well.
Cool. And we are on the, or at least where I was left was kind of on the ground near where all the potion is spilling out.
Yeah, so are you sort of on the side away from too near the potion, or if you wanted the
Cool.
slug to have dropped you off on the counter, you can do as well. It's up to you.
Ooh.
The ones that are on
I
the
think
ground do seem to have some labels as well, just to let you know.
Yeah, I think on the ground is fine, because I want to see what all these spilled potions are. Does it look like they've only spilled onto the ground, or are they like, did they like fall off the cauldron seemingly?
Yeah, it looks like they sort of bounced after tipping into the cauldron, because there's also powder of like the various different herbs and things sort of all over the place.
Okay, yeah. So I'll get as close as seems safe.
Yeah.
And just try to see all the ones that are fallen.
Sure. Yeah, so you kind of like carefully look over the ones you can see, and again, it's like big human writing, so it takes you a little bit of time, but you can see two of the ones that got tipped in were St. John's wort and yarrow, which are both herbs, medicinal herbs.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's probably pretty unlikely for Elchie to know too much about it.
I mean, you just spend some time looking in the library at the observatory, so I can give you a bit of
true.
information that she might have picked up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, that maybe she's like, oh, these sound familiar from the books I was flipping through.
So I think the things you know about them from the observatory are both are quite reactive. They have quite strong effects by themselves, particularly like St. John's wort is used as like, it's used in all sorts of different things, and it reacts with other stuff as well. Like, for example, you're not supposed to take St. John's wort with other medication in real life. Yarrow similarly is like a pretty strong, potent herb that can has strong physical effects on you if you take a lot of it. So you come to the conclusion basically from this knowledge that these would both be pretty reactive if added into some sort of potion that already had a purpose, and therefore it's these that were tipped in that Merida was saying might have set off this catalyst for it to mutate and do something different.
Cool. Okay. Since we're so close to the source of the or the potion, I think Elchie is gonna at least look up and try to see if there's a container that seems feasible for me or us to pick up and fill up with this potion, since that's what Merida wanted.
There's some intact spice bottles that you could use. They are human sized, so I think they would take up 2 slots.
Okay. I may need to get rid of something. Actually, I think I may just have 2 slots open. Because I forgot I passed off my clarinet, so I'm okay for now.
Oh, the clarinet. So sad. Can't play it. So you can carefully excuse them. So this is still all of the stuff that's fizzing over this potion. You can see is all of this weird purpley green, the same color of the potion in the river and stuff. So all of this is the stuff that seems to be the contaminated version. None of the original seems to be necessarily separate.
Okay, so
but
it's
you can
just
still
this
get
mixed version. Interesting. Another thing is I think Elchie is gonna dip the sword in it just to see if it like
Ooh.
does something to the sword. They've been left alone for a little too long now, and
thinking too much about these
like,
things.
wonder what would happen.
Okay, roll a d6.
4.
Ooh, okay. The sword, as you sort of swing it around and you touch it on some things, it's real sticky. It's real sticky.
It's so sticky that I can't get out.
So sticky that so I've said on a 4 you get the sticky condition if you touch it, which I think therefore should apply to the sword. The sticky condition, your whole body is very sticky and you must succeed on a strength save to let go of the thing you're touching. So your sword is currently stuck and you of course are stuck to the sword.
She's just like, I wish the mortal enemy were here.
I mean, meow. No.
Oh no. LG very quickly makes a mortal enemy, and then
you just see a fly buzzing ahead. And there is to clear the sticky condition, which we won't say it will act like a normal condition in your inventory. We'll just say the sword is sticky. But yeah, you know from obviously your previous watchings of washing things off, it would take a short rest, taking some time to wash the sword to unsticky it. So yeah, but yeah, you can try a strength save to pull it off. It's got stuck to the cabinet, I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, what did I get? Okay, I couldn't tell if it was a 9 or a 6. It is I believe this is a 9 and my strength is an 8. So I'm just here.
Okay. So you're stuck.
I wonder where Elchie is.
Yeah,
They're taking an awfully long time.
You've been sat having your short rest. Apple, you're feeling a little better. You're still injured. Oh, I guess, sorry, I should say, I suppose you probably do go back up with HP because otherwise you'd be at 0, which I guess.
I don't remember. Because I think you can have 0 HP because it's hit protection. It's not like
actually that's very true, isn't it?
I think not to argue with you if you want to give me HP back, but I can't remember what. I think you need to take. I think you need to take a longer rest to get hit protection back. I could be wrong.
When a creature takes critical damage, they take an injured condition and are incapacitated until tended to by an ally and take a short rest. Short rest. Take one turn. Swig of water and a few minutes of rest will restore D6 plus 1.
Yeah, so a short rest I could get protection back.
Get one. Because, I mean, you don't have that much HP anyway. So.
I don't. I might make a huge difference. To full.
Yeah, okay, we'll rule it like that when you're doing your short rest to be non-incapacitated, you also regain some of that HP.
Okay, so I'll roll a d6.
But you're still injured, so yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't heal my strength damage, I think is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So my strength is still at 2, but I did roll a 2 on my d6, so I go back up to full hit protection. I have such little. So I'm feeling much better.
Yeah.
But are you still injured?
I still have the injured condition, but I have to take a full rest, I think, which is like overnight.
So I think that like possibly in that case, and I mean, I don't know whether Apple will argue with this, but I think that Tabitha is sort of like still being like very mothering around you and is sort of like just like stroking your fur and it's like, all right, Apple, I need to go make sure that Elchie is all right. And Susie hasn't actually moved from that book for some time now, so I don't think that she's coming back to the land of the living for a while. So my suggestion is, if it's all right with you, I'll get on the plane. You keep the crystals here. and you switch the fan on and stay here, and then I'll fly over to Elchi, and then we'll come back.
I think first off, Apple is very like loving the attention. Like it's like when you're a
Yeah.
kid and you're sick and you're like you don't feel like you genuinely are sick, but you're like, oh yeah, like my mom can come like put her hand on my forehead and I'm the
Yeah.
most important one in the family. So I think that's how Apple feels about it. So is like genuinely injured, but is like liking the attention. And it says, I can definitely turn the fan on for you. I could even push it off. I think this time if I just push the plane and I don't try to also get on it, I think that'll be fine.
I think you're right, and I have to say, Apple, I think it's amazing how smart you are, considering what an awful fall you took. Like the fact that you are this together is quite something, and I have enormous respect for you as an adventurer. The sorts of scrapes that you must have been through, and to come out of something like that.
I didn't really hit my head. I mostly just landed right on my back. So,
oh, you poor thing.
I bravely go back over to the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. This time round, it goes a lot more smoothly.
Hard
and
for it to go worse.
because you're no longer having to leap for the plane. And Tabitha can be sent off to fly around the corner. One thing you do notice, Tabitha, as you take aloft and you're sort of like float, you're mostly gliding basically. You do notice the slug has been continuing to kind of go around in the potion, and it is quite a lot bigger than it was before. And a little straining quite a lot at the skin and oozing a little not looking great. It's also finished eating the treat, so it's just kind of like pootling about, like just doing its own thing. Just so you know. So you presumably fly over into the kitchen. You can sort of bank the turns, and you can see over the cauldron properly for the first time, and it's a big cauldron. There's a lot of stuff, and you can see that the whole view of the kitchen now. That the potion also is like spilling out through the back door, through the cat flap, outside as well. So it's going down the drain in the sink. It's going outside. It's gone all over the place, basically. And you can see Elchi holding the sword.
Elchi, what are you doing? Why are you still there?
I am also asking these same questions. Why am I still here? And she's like got her like two back feet up, like cartoonishly like pulling against the cabinet. The cabinet won't let go of me. Look, I know I'm incredible company, but I really must be going.
Oh dear. So I'd like to try and land on the cabinet so we still have some height so that we can jump off somewhere. I mean, I don't know how far we're going to be able to get without the fan, but
just to throw a little spanner in the works, because I did mention this earlier, there is a fly flying around. And as you kind of circle around, now cutting through its airspace, it goes from just sort of being like to like.
Oh well, no! Come on now, shoot! Don't you dare! Oh, for goodness sake!
And it starts trying to like dive on you. And I do think it seems kind of confused, like it's kind of covered in the potion and dripping, and it's not necessarily like biting or attacking you. But what we're going to do is we are going to do it in like rounds to sort of say how you deal with this. So I think this is the first one we're doing this because you've been very good at avoiding danger. So basically, where is it? Make a dex save to act before your opponents is basically what you do. So Rue as well, if you want to do one for Elchi, because obviously you're trying to get into Elchi and get out without this fly dive bombing you and attacking you. So
I failed. My dex is 6 and I rolled a 13.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. And I'm also doing a deck save.
Yeah.
Okay. It was now I got the other one. 6 and my dex is 10. So I got
So
it.
you succeed. So Elchie is in front of the fly, Tabitha is after. So Elchie, you see this happening, it's just stuck to the cabinet. You see this fly starting to kind of like fly after Tabitha in the plane, and is going like boom, boom, boom. So every round you can do one action. It doesn't have to be an attack, it can be other things as well. So you could keep trying to pull yourself free, or you could do something else as well. It's the equivalent of like maybe less than a minute or so, like 60 seconds.
Okay. Since I'm kind of stuck in one position, and Tabitha is the one that kind of has the ability to move around, I think I want to draw the fly's attention to me. So I'm gonna just start like wildly swinging my banjo to try to like smack it as it's doing its dive bombs down.
Yeah.
Maybe even try to see if I can smack it into like the direction of the potion, the cauldron and stuff.
I think it's not that low yet.
Okay.
You can sort of like wave and try and get its attention.
Yeah, okay, that works. Maybe I even like pluck the strings a little bit so it's like making annoying sounds.
Cool. I'm gonna make it do a will save, which is it's not very intelligent. See if it can sort of ignore that. If it fails, it's gonna get distracted. Unfortunately it passed, so it's like and carries on after after the plane. So it's gonna sort of dive bomb at you, Tabitha, and come in to try and like give you a little like bite on the mousy bottom. So nope, that's the wrong dice, not a d20. It's gonna bite you for 2 HP's worth of damage.
Oh my gosh.
HP's worth of damage. Well, that's all my HP.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, so does that go into your strength, or did you have 2?
I had 2.
Cool. Okay. I believe you need to roll to see if you stay up. What's
I really should have been thinking.
Thoughts? Taylor, I know you played a bit.
Not to jump in there, backseat
I'm open.
I think it's the first time you take damage to strength. You
and
take
this is
critical,
0, so you don't take any damage yet.
I think yes.
Yeah. Okay, you're good then. Don't worry about it. Not yet. You're still up. Just you're like, huh. It's basically it's taking your ability to dodge it, because hit protection is like getting out the way or bashing it off or whatever before you take actual health damage. So you're like, as it's like biting after you. Then it's your turn.
And
I would
you're
like
close
to
enough to stab it with
down.
my sword, please.
Sure,
Yeah.
you turn around. So you always hit in Mausritter, so you just do the damage. Roll the damage for your sword.
It's a d6, but I rolled a 1.
It's still good. And I imagine the plane is kind of coming down naturally anyway. So we'll say you're starting to get into range of Elchie.
I'm imagining it's a full kind of like, like a 20th century, like 1950s action movie, like on a biplane when you're standing on the wings. So I'm like kind of standing up in the middle of this paper airplane, turning around, like, so with my back to where we're actually going. And I'm like dodging this, like swinging wildly with my little sewing needle sword. Nope, stay away.
And I'll just ask very quickly, have you aimed it to land on the counter, or do you want to have it aimed down towards Elchie on the floor?
I had said before I wanted to aim for the counter, so I think
so it's going to be coming towards that. Okay, Elchie, it's your go. So you can do one of some sort.
Yeah. Elchie's like, their plan was to see if they could make this fly their mortal enemy and then quickly resolve that and get some use out of this sword, but I think that may take a little too much time. So I think Elchie is gonna. Does it look like the fly is still kind of buzzing further up, right?
Yeah, but they're kind of getting much closer to you now. So like, say what you want to do basically, and we'll see if it would make sense.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm gonna try to get out of this potion again, just so that I can maybe start making some moves. So would that be another roll for strength?
I'm trying to like unstick yourself. Yeah. So another a strength save. Yeah.
Okay, and that's a d20, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to roll under your strength.
Ooh. Oh yes, I got a 2. My goodness. As the barrel's back a little bit.
Yeah, you're free. You're free. Ha, okay.
Yes.
So that was like, I think you're obviously spending time to do that. You're free.
Yeah.
Great. The fly buzzing around. I think. Okay. I'm just gonna roll odds or evens to see if it sees you flailing about and who it's gonna keep looking at. So let's say odds, Tabitha, evens, Archie.
Okay.
Odds.
Oh,
No. is Tabitha. So it's like,
dang it.
It's still in dogfight, fly fight mode. And it's gonna fly. And come and go at you again. Nope, wrong one. Okay. For 3 damage into
my
your
strength
strength.
is 10, so
Okay.
I will take that, and now I roll a strength save, don't I?
Yeah, so now you roll a strength save to see if you're incapacitated.
And it would be under 7, which is because that's after the damage is taken, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I rolled a 15.
Oh dear.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna die.
It's okay. You were heading in. So you take the injured condition, which takes up a slot, and you are incapacitated until tended to. So yeah, this fly bites at you, bites on your tail, and you're like, ugh! And you splayed out on the plane as it like glides down and lands on the kitchen counter. Just as out you pop off, and see this fly is continuing to sort of like, I think it sees it's like circling around Tabitha. Tabitha, you're down, so you can't really do anything. You can shout, but yeah, that's kind of what you can do. So Elchie.
Oh my god. I forget that I'm on the upper side of health. So as everyone's been dropping, I'm like, no, I could have taken both of those. LG, let's see. I'm trying to think if it's. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to climb up. LG's gonna use the sword and like stick it into the cabinet to like really get up there a lot faster and more securely.
Cool. I think if you're using the sword, you've got your troubadour tricks and whatnot. You can take your time, get up there. We'll say that's your action to take that time to climb up. So the fly sees you as you kind of crest the thing, and it starts flying towards you. It's like, and is gonna try and bite at you. Ooh, for 4 HP.
That is
4 damage.
I am down to 0 because I got hurt from the water.
The lavender,
that I never, I haven't.
Okay, so 0,
healed.
but 0 is okay because it doesn't go into your strength.
Yeah, I still haven't gone past it.
Cool. It's your go.
Okay. I think, let me see. I think I'm gonna have to use this sword because I believe my banjo I would need to wield with both hands, which I can't at the moment. So I'm just gonna try to stab it with my sword.
Cool.
Let's see. Sorry, what do I roll for that?
I believe it was medium, so with one hand it's a D6, or with 2 hands it'd be a D8.
Okay. I think actually, yeah, maybe she would use both hands to try to get like just as much damage on this thing as possible. I try to figure out which one of these dice is the right one. There it is.
I just realized before I should have said there's a fly in the ointment when you've got into trouble. But anyway, I say it now. So D8.
5.
5. Excellent. Okay. Let me do. Sorry, my math is terrible, so I'm just going to calculate minus. Okay, right. I'm gonna roll because you slash through into fire. It doesn't manage to dodge because it's gone through its HP into its strength. So I'm gonna do a will save to see if it's gonna try and fly away because it's too scared, basically. Okay, it fails.
Yes.
So you run it through with your sword, and it's like yeah, and one of its wings is all like torn up, and it's like this is too much trouble. Flies off towards the food plates at the other side of the kitchen.
It flies off to Apple and
Yeah, savages you while you're down.
For a moment, I really did. That's what was happening, and I was like, no.
Don't tempt me. Ha, ha,
Apple
ha.
and Susie.
You thought this was all cute little autumnal mice. But then
One
no.
fly.
Yeah. Buzzes on off to the plates and is like, yep, that was whatever. And yeah, you're okay. Tabitha's down, but yeah, you can run over and spend some time looking after her.
Yeah, I'll do. I forget how would I be able to
So it's the
get her back
you,
up?
you just say you help, and
Okay.
you both Tabitha takes a short rest, which you can do as well. And anyone taking that short rest can do a d6 plus 1 HP is restored up to your maximum HP.
Okay.
I got a
Tabitha
1.
will no longer be
No.
incapacitated.
Although actually, to be fair, my maximum HP is 2, and I got a 1 plus 1, so
Great.
Oh,
I
yay.
Full health.
Heck
But yeah,
yeah.
your strength stays down for now
Yeah.
until you can take a longer rest.
Okay, I got back up to 4. Got a 3.
Great. So 2 mice
Oh,
injured, 2 on this side. Apple on the other one.
Imagine if we did die to this fly.
And then Angela comes back after her charity stream and is like, what happened?
I said I would be okay getting
Emotionally hurt is
Yeah.
how Philippa took that.
have a home party.
Actually, what I'm going to say, because we're nearing the end of the session, and I think this will be fun, is as you see the fly buggers off towards the plates and things, you see it kind of flies near to the doorway, and it's kind of like buzzes around, and it does fly towards Apple Fritter, but not right towards, off into the living room. And Apple Fritter, you see from the bedroom, you see a cat come out,
Oh.
eat the fly,
Oh.
and then sits sort of perched on the edge of where the potion gets up to and looks up at you. And a brown cat with a little grey ear.
No.
And
Apple's
yeah.
just not moving.
And goes, yeah, meow. And I think let's finish this with one final roll, which is not a risk roll, it's an understanding roll. Because, of course, while Merida has spent time learning the mousy language, this cat has not. So whether you understand each other would be interesting to know. So, Apple, can you make a will save for me to see if this is possible to communicate with the cat?
don't forget you have the crystal with you.
You do have the crystal with you. And it's a will save. You have the other crystal.
I'll use the other crystal because I have a good will, but I didn't roll well enough. So let's see. Hey, I got it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Great.
So both crystals have 1 use each from me.
Yeah. The crystal, you I think you're like maybe sat
Yeah.
against the crystal and you feel it kind of like almost heat up against your skin for a moment, and you're like, no, because it starts out you're just hearing like meow, 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 and then it's like blah, blah, blah. Oh, finally you're here. It turns out to, I've been waiting to see you. I've been keeping track of things, but finally someone can help. And the cat jumps up on the table and you see the name tag, Saskia, which is the name of the human witch, of course, as well.
You want me to help you?
Obviously, who else is going to help me? I need some help with these paws. And looks like paws. And I think before we go into a lot of talk, I think that would be a great cliffhanger. End of the session.
Oh, so good.
with Tabitha and Elchie in the room hearing a meow meow meow.
Oh, that's right.
The cat jumps up onto the table. And yeah, I think that's where we will end our session today. So, viewers, thank you so much for sticking around. We're just going to go back through everyone as they tell us a little bit about themselves. So do stick around for that. And then we'll give you a bit of information about some other stuff that's happening on the channel. And then we'll raid a different channel if there's one available. So I'll go last. So we'll go with my camera again. So Taylor, could you tell us who you are, where we can find you, and one or two things that you want to tell us about that you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, I'm Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been playing Apple Fritter, who also uses she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, Roll for Felicity, under all of those places. On Twitch, I stream tabletop RPGs as well, a lot of one-shots. Most recently, I did Vampire the Masquerade. That'll be up on YouTube soon. But things I have coming up next month, I'm running a one-shot of Babes in the Wood, and then I'm also running a one-shot of Mausritter. So, and maybe Vampire if we can fit it in. But yeah, you can, if you follow me on Twitter, I tweet about whatever I've got going on, so you can keep up with me there.
Excellent. Ella, you go next.
So I've been Ella Watts. You can find me on social media at GEJ Watts on Twitter and Instagram. I am a podcast director, producer, voice director, generally doing lots of kind of audio drama things. I would really like to recommend that you check out a new series that I've got out on Zombies Run, which is a gaming app and immersive audio drama thing. We've got a new limited series on there, a ghost story called The Graveyard Route, which is a 5-part drama written by Johnny Sims. And tomorrow night, we're going to be doing Johnny and I are going to do a live stream about me directing it and him writing and acting in the series, for anyone who's interested in kind of learning more from us about our creative process. So check that out, The Graveyard Route on Zombies Run.
Brilliant. And finally, Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. My pronouns are she, her. On Twitter, I am Cherry Drop. I'm a game designer, writer, and stream producer, and also play on a lot of actual plays. This coming, I believe, Sunday, I'm going to be doing a one-shot of Zombie World on Fawn and Games Twitch channel, and in a second I'll get that link out. And they are doing Zombie World and also Monster Hearts 2, which is being GM'd by Angela on that channel as well. And they're raising charity funds for the Trans Empowerment Project. And they'll be doing a bunch of games as well on Monday, a bunch of like spooky games also raising money for the same charity. So definitely come by and check us out and donate if you can. And if you can't, just, spread the word and help out in that way. Yeah. That's me.
Awesome. And my name's Philippa Mort. You can find me all over the place at Mort Philippa, mostly on Twitter and TikTok, where I talk about various indie games and things. I also make games and adventures over on Itch.io and on DM's Guild and so on. And I make various different things. For example, if you want a Halloween one-shot of some Mausritter, I wrote a vampire bat themed mousy adventure called Tomb of the Slumbering Queen, which Taylor played on her stream as well, if you want to see a version of it. So yeah, you might enjoy having a look at that. Finally, a few things you can look forward to. So just a reminder, as always, please do consider following if you are not, and if you want to support us, you can subscribe here on Twitch. There's also VODs of everything over on YouTube as well. If you want to give us some support, we've also got a Ko-fi, I believe. And a few things coming up. Don't forget the casting applications. If you want to run something on Girls Run These Worlds, you can submit a casting application with an idea for your show, which is, I don't know if the links will be going in the thing. Otherwise, it'll be on their Twitter in a tweet. And other things coming up. Casting for spy.edu, Spy Edu, goes live this weekend. Glazer will be enrolling spies for the new semester at Spy School using Brandy Rose's I Spy system. And also, do not forget the winter one-shot pitches close tomorrow. So if you want to run something for the winter season, get those pitches in, because they're going to be getting sorted out soon. So if you think of some fun ideas, please do apply for that as well. That is all of us done for today, and we'll be back again next week. A reminder for anyone in the UK time zone, BST, don't forget next week our time zone changes, but the US one does not. So we will be an hour earlier in the BST/GMT time zone. So do keep that in mind if you have it in the calendar, because us Brits will be earlier, but the Americans will not. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful evening/afternoon, and we will say goodbye.